I'd like you to get nice and comfortable so that you can meditate without any distractions coming to you, such as a phone going off or you being walked in on, because this will take you out of an alpha state of mind. An alpha state can only come about when you feel safe and calm and relaxed in all of your being. So please take a moment to make sure that you're all set up for success before you begin, so that you get the most out of meditating your mind. I will now begin the meditation called Clearing Old Perceptions. I would like you to begin by closing your eyes and settling into a rhythmic breathing pattern. Just breathe in and out of your nose so that you stay fully present while I'm talking to you, despite you beginning to relax. For all of the time that I'm speaking to you, all that you need to do is breathe in and out through your nose while focusing on your breath. Nothing more is required of you other than you paying attention to the air that you're breathing into you as it enters your nasal passage, and you taking notice of that air as it becomes released again. When you close your eyes and you concentrate on your breathing, your mind knows that it no longer needs to process your reality anymore, and instead it thinks thoughts about what is going on inside of you, which is exactly what we want to happen. As you breathe and you focus on how it feels to bring fresh air into your body, your mind begins to still itself so that it is no longer thinking about your day-to-day activities, and instead it is listening to your calm breathing pattern. And this lets it know that it's okay for it to release any old energy that it's holding on to, that is sabotaging your ability to be peaceful. Breathing in and out only through your nose helps the mind to see just one thing happening right now, which makes it relieved of all of its thoughts of many things going on, and it settles it into a rhythmic pace of slowing down and becoming more restful. This is what we want the mind to do in order for it to meditate correctly, which is why this introduction is making you aware of what is going on, because it will help you to relax more fully. The mind needs to be stilled in order for it to let go of the critical faculty of the mind, so that you get the most out of this meditation. Otherwise, you will fail to release old energy out of your physical body. And this is why I take the time to talk to you, to calm you down first, before we begin doing anything important, as this is necessary in order for you to surrender any thoughts that you might have that are worrying you. As you hear my voice talking to you, while you're calmly breathing in, you are hearing words that are soothing your mind, and it is trusting in the process of slowing down its thoughts. And in turn, all of your bodily responses begin to settle down as well, which results in an overall calm coming to you that makes you still inside. When you focus on breathing in and breathing out only through your nose, your critical faculty begins to surrender any worry that it has, and it comes to be trusting and sure. And in doing so, it tells the mind that it is ready to release its waste material. This instructs the mind of your physical body to begin sending signals upwards into the higher realm, so that it is held in a state of elevated awareness. This allows it to know exactly what it needs to today, so that you are full of an awareness of self that says, I am ready to move on from my past. Knowing this inside of you is important when you are meditating your mind, because it helps you to surrender any mass that is talking to you about old times of grief or unsureness or anything untoward. The higher realm is full of elevated consciousness that speaks of evolvement from the now. So you can trust anything that it says to you about growing from this moment in time. Your mind automatically connects to the higher realm when it is meditated into calm, because it knows that it is full of useful information that helps it to think new thoughts. Your mind wants to always let go of the old and welcome in the new, because it makes it relieved and evolutionary in its processing of the now, which then assists it to grow its conscious awareness. Focusing the mind into a state of meditation allows it to know things such as how to get out of a state of thought that is bothering it, due to it being swamped by awareness energy that is harmful or toxic or other. Which is why, as you concentrate your thoughts on relaxation, you are learning of exactly what it is that you need to know in order for you to move on from an event that occurred that either shocked you or made you disempowered. When your mind is meditated in this way, where it is held still by your breath being calm, it knows that it can ask your higher realm self or higher self beingness anything that it needs to, so that you grow from one state of thought to another. And because you know this right now in this moment, you can learn of anything that you need to in order for any old imagery to be surrendered by your mind. You can send a signal up into your higher realm that says, I need to know something important about my past from a higher perspective so that I can grow from all that happened to me. And when your mind sends this message upwards, no part of you resists this communication taking place, because you wholeheartedly want to know the truth. This means that no self-blame will stand in your way, nor any hatred or self-loathing, nor will any derogatory thoughts of self or other. You will simply come to be conversing with your higher self-beingness in a way that is pure and clear and free of all corruption. And what you hear speaks only of evolution. It is important to hear what your higher self has to say to you, because it helps you to know things of importance, such as how to get out of a sticky situation, or how to evolve your mind past a traumatic state of being, as well as it also influencing you to change your thoughts often, so that you don't become stuck or bogged down with depression. The higher self speaks of things on a moment-to-moment basis when you are connected properly through your mind. However, some people block this communication by accident when they become shocked or startled with fear. So it is important to know that by doing this meditation, that you are re-establishing your connection with your higher realm through positive thoughts of a nowful kind. When you become disconnected from your higher realm state of being, it is possible for waste to build up in your mind that can prevent evolutionary thought. And when this comes about, it can be very hard to be abundant in all of the ways that you want to be, because no part of your will work properly anymore, because it is focusing on what is bothering you in your mind. Which means that if you have a picture of an old time of life stuck in your awarenesses, and it tells you about a time of powerlessness, for example, then this can keep you in a state of submissive behavior because your mind is reliving your past. This causes a lot of issues for you on a day-to-day basis with being present and nowful, which then affects your manifesting capabilities as well, due to old mass dictating to you about what is important. Your mind looks to your awareness energy to tell it how lucky to make you and how abundant, as well as how healthy to make your body. So when it is bombarded each day by old signatures of stress, it can decide to lower the amount of chi that you have available to you, which then greatly impacts all of your nervous system's response to your reality. When your chi is lessened, it can make old symptoms flare up, such as tightness and tension, as well as your body aching in certain places, because your mind is still dealing with energy that is telling it that something bad has just happened to you, when in fact it actually took place some time ago. This results in confusion going on inside of you, and another flare-up can occur where your body is convinced that something alarming is going on, and this is when the will becomes compromised severely due to all of your being mass saying things of an untruthful kind. This is usually something along the lines of, "I cannot get over what happened to me," or "I cannot forgive myself," or even worse, something like, "I cannot live another minute because I am so scarred by what took place." All of these old thought signatures can remain on and telling their story relentlessly when you have mass of a wasteful kind sitting around your brain due to your mind holding onto it in some way. Which is why I've designed this meditation process in a certain way, where you are connected to your higher knowing, so that you learn of something important that helps you to heal. Right now in this moment, you are being told of whatever you need to hear in order for an old image of self to leave you, so that you forgive yourself and all involved for everything that took place. This picture that you once saw of how your life had turned out details who you were in a moment of disempowerment, and it is best that you let it go so that you return to being someone who knows who they are beyond that tragic or shocking time of your life. By holding old imagery in your mind, you submit yourself to being just as you were at a time when your power was taken away from you. So it's important to let it go wholeheartedly, so that no part of that experience stays with you on any level of your being. You want to purge all of what you saw, as well as all of what you felt, at a time of grief coming to you, as well as you wanting to surrender everything that was going on inside of you on a level of biological response, because this tells a story that disempowers you also. You want to let go wholeheartedly of all of the shock and all of what you heard, so that it no longer stays inside of you on a level of energy that dictates to you about the person that you were in your past. And you want to surrender each and everything that you told yourself in that moment of powerless behavior, so that you never think of it again. Your mind now knows what it is dealing with regards to the past that you are letting go of today. So no part of it resists purging as much wasteful energy as it can do, so that the totality of all of what you went through leaves your physical form. You don't want to hold on to an old version of yourself that tells you disempowering information. So just breathe and know that this stuck imagery is breaking down as you think thoughts of evolution. Meaning that as you are focusing inwards and telling yourself to be calm, you are breathing in such a way where your mind lets go of gripping onto what it has known before, and it allows something new to take its place. And in doing so, it sheds a past image of self that once told you harmful details about an encounter that shocked you. And what takes its place is a fresh new outlook and a new vision of who you are right now in this moment of meditation. If you wanted to, you could ask your higher self beingness to tell you who you are and what you look like according to your higher self. And this will allow you to not get involved in perceptions of self that might limit you, and what you allow yourself to see internally in your mind's eye. You ask your higher self knowingness to send into you a vision of empowerment that shows you the truth of who you are in this now moment in time. And it will tell you of things that you might not know yet, such as who you are becoming next. It fills you full of lifeful content that speaks of evolution, and all through your being resonates a person who is free from thinking the same thoughts that they once did, because they no longer see themselves in the same way. Instead, they see themselves as healed and whole and transformed, as well as strong and sure of the person that they are, as well as you also seeing yourself as changed from the person who once suffered with grief or loss or disempowerment, because your life is completely different now to how it used to be. You clearly see that you are letting go of an old image of self that once sat in your mind's awarenesses, and you know that this picture is breaking down its mass, because all through your body are empowering messages from the higher realm that speak of evolution. Your higher self says to you that you no longer need to punish yourself with low vibration thoughts, and it says to you that you are worth more than you have allowed before, and it says to you that you can overcome anything that you set your mind to, because you are a willful and abundant person. Your higher self says to you that it's time for you to evolve from an old way of thinking so that you can be happy in a way where you manifest what you want in your life with ease. Because a joyful outlook and a positive mind helps every person to attract to them anything that they need and want in their lifetime. All that you have to do is to hand over what is worrying you or stimulating your mind in a negative way, where it becomes disempowered often. And then your higher self can send down into you all of what you are asking for in the form of relief. It sends down all of the clarity that you require to answer all of the questions that you've had for a while now, so that no part of you holds on to old energy that is better off not being inside of you. So if you have a question in mind like, why me? Or why at this time of my life? Or something like, why did that have to happen? Etc. Then the universal consciousness that is coming into you right now as I am speaking reassures you in such a way where all events come to their conclusion. Some people hold on to why and how come and does this mean that I'm damaged forever? Which can prevent them thinking abundantly from then on. You don't want to keep suffering with low vibration thought mass telling you to study a past time that harmed you due to relentless questioning going on within your subconscious mind. The whys and the hows can all be answered right now in this moment due to you being connected to your higher awareness state of self. So you have no need to hold on to anything that is worrying you or bothering you internally anymore, because your higher self state is filling you with self-empowerment. It is possible that your higher knowing tells you how to get over troubling times and how to move on with your life simply by showing you something from your future time of success. And this is enough to will you forwards to a place where you are expressing yourself differently and in a powerful way. All because you are aware within your being of something exciting and new and evolutionary. Meaning that if you wanted to right now, you could ask your higher intel to send to you a vision of who you will be in the coming months or years, so that you see yourself in a new way that is evolved from this moment in time. Ask that you see yourself as someone who has learnt something important, or as someone who has succeeded at a goal that you want to achieve, or something similar, like you seeing yourself as free of a situation that you are in right now, so that you can visualize internally what it looks like to be the you that you are wanting to be. Allow all of your mind to be engaged with this vision of self that is powerful and abundant and telling you to move towards it, so that you feel connected to it inside of your body, because this will help you to will yourself to become that new vision of self. Feeling the energy of who you envision yourself to be next helps you to gain traction, and it aids in your momentum to move yourself out of your current energy of now that is fixed into place inside of you, so that a new now comes into your being. Meaning that down the center of your internal structure of self exists a line of thought known as now self, or nowness, or now time of reality. And in order for this to change and adapt to the possibility of you growing into the future time self that you saw, with the help of the higher realm showing it to you, you need to move an old vision matrix out of your center towards your back so that a new one takes its place. This is why a new feeling needs to occur from your mind, sending into your heart all of the thoughts that it is now having about who you could possibly be if you just surrendered who you once were before now. Your mind sends down into your heart all of what it now knows to be true, due to evolution taking place within it while you have been meditating. And it speaks to the heart about all of what it visualized and was told by your higher self. Your mind tells your heart to feel differently, in a way where it can conceptualize that you are moving on and becoming someone new, no matter what has happened to you in your past. Sometimes a person can go through griefs unimaginable to most, which makes the mind stand still in a moment of shock. So it is important to tell the heart that the mind is okay now and that it is ready to be powerful again. You don't want an old time of life to dictate to your heart in a way where it says that you are unwilling to let go of what happened to you, because that will only serve to sabotage you even further. So let go now wholeheartedly from the space within your center that is full of old expressions of shock and disempowerment, or bereavement or loss, or powerlessness or pain, or anger and vengeance, or hatred and old beliefs in self that say that you cannot get over a tragedy that you have been through. Let go in a way where you feel a shift occurring within you, where old mass that lines the center of your being moves backwards towards your spine, so that you no longer come to be aware of it in your mind's center point of now. Instead, you only see it and its contents as a distant memory of a time of long ago, so that your now full center is filled with all that you have just learnt from your mind's connection to the higher realm. Your mind now knows how to surrender its connection to old material in your being, such as cordings and attachments and bindings of every kind, as well as it now knowing how to eliminate waste from inside of the body that contains biological matter that speaks of all that you went through in your former time of life. Your mind now adapts to the idea that it no longer needs to know anything more from all of this content, so it flushes it from your being in a totality kind of way, where the body sheds its skin, so to speak, and it comes to be new in its overall signatures of self. This means that you can now see yourself in an evolved way on a level of biology and how it expresses itself daily, as well as you seeing yourself in a new way which is powerful within your DNA's expressions of self, as well as you also being able to change how you perceive your reality to be in all of the liquids inside of your body, so that they express out of themselves the life that you have now, rather than one that you had before, which makes you an abundantly nowful individual. Your mind controls all of your being in this moment, in a way where it listens to its every word, and it follows its instructions for evolvement. And should it say something along the lines of, transform your allness of self, then this is exactly what you will do on a subatomic level. All of your mind engages with the totality of your being, and it tells it to be powerful at expressing the truth of who you are, so that you go forwards from this moment as a totally unique version of yourself who is planted in the reality of your now. Which means that no false or illusionary matter confuses you, and no old times of life trigger you subconsciously to remind you of who you once were at a painful moment of past. And instead, you gain clarity and sureness of your next evolutionary steps forwards. Take a moment to enjoy how this feels as you shed yourself of old matter that no longer speaks to you at all in any way, because it has been silenced by the truth of the now. Let go with a knowingness inside of you that reassures you that you have grown from old ways of thinking, and that you now know how to evolve yourself forwards to your next incarnation of self. I would like you to breathe as you allow fresh air into your lungs that fills you full of optimism and hope. And let go of the breath, knowing that the old you has exited your physical form. Breathe in again, pulling fresh air into your body, filling you full of life. And breathe out again, surrendering your meditative state of mind. Breathe in, knowing that you are now becoming more aware of your conscious beingness. And breathe out again, letting go of thoughts of meditation. Breathe in one more time, returning to a fully conscious state of being aware of yourself in every way. And then open your eyes as you breathe out again, so that you are looking at your surroundings, knowing that you are now presently aware. I would like you to keep breathing for a moment with your eyes open, so that your mind returns fully to a now-full state, and it is no longer engaging in thoughts that tell it to look inwards. Keep breathing and telling yourself that you are presently now and engaging in your reality. And when you're ready to, you can gently move your body so that it is fully aware also. Thank you all for joining me for this self-healing session, where I guided you to surrender an old vision of self so that you could be more powerful in your now. If you have enjoyed this channeled meditation, then please leave me a comment and tell me what you thought of it, as it brings me a lot of joy when I read what you have written. If you haven't done so already, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel so that when I share again, you can be notified. And if you feel guided to do so, I'd really appreciate it if you liked this post or shared it with your friends, as I'm just starting out on YouTube, and any engagement that you give really helps my meditations and healing processes to get out there to the masses. Thanks again, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you all again next time.